Welcome to my channel. My name is Lynn. This is Hot Mess and Hot Glue, and on today's episode, we are getting my life back together and we are going to try and clean out this craft closet. Now, since we've moved in, I've tried, actually, this is the third time I've attacked this closet, but it's definitely going to be the final. So you can see there's just a ton of stuff in here. It all needed to come out, and in order to get any kind of organization or really any purpose or reason to anything, everything needed to be gone. So we had to start with a blank slate. Now, I was removing these and I was really shocked just how flimsy these were all put on there. So as you can see, they do leave a lot of holes in the wall, and so I had to call in for reinforcement with my husband and asked him to get the higher shelves that I could not reach, and he went through, spackled and sanded everything. Now, we had thought about painting the room, but I think we're gonna wait a little while on that. We do have other projects in the house. So now that we've got this all clean, you're gonna see here, I'm basically just going to try my best to put it all back together, kind of make some sense of it, and do it in a way that hopefully isn't too incredibly boring for you to have to watch. Now, I do want to mention though, I would love it if you guys wouldn't mind taking the time to check out my friends that are also doing the same thing. We're getting our lives together, we're getting our spaces clean. So if you'll check out Sarah with Sarah Can DIY It, I'm sorry, it's Can Sarah DIY It. What I love about her channel is she's got a huge variety of fun things that she's always doing. We've got Connie at Connie's Creations. Oh my goodness, I cannot speak today. There's Megan at Painted and Distressed, and then also myself. So now, I don't know if I'm the only one, but anytime I start some kind of cleaning project, it always bleeds into something else. So this container was inside the closet, but I decided that I was actually going to keep it outside of the closet, and so I needed to kind of dress it up a little bit because visually I wanted my space to be pleasing. So I'm just giving this a really good wash, and I found these stickers that I got from the Target Dollar Spot probably over a year ago, and there's just like this terrazzo pattern. What I liked about this is it's really random and you don't have to be perfect in any way. So I'm just kind of placing this all over the place, and I'm going to do this to the top and only one of the sides, because where I'm going to temporarily put this up against the wall, it's only going to show on half of the container. So luckily I had just enough stickers to cover that. This is kind of where I thought I was going with the process. I was thinking I was going to put some buckets in there, but I realized I really just need those to kind of be out of the closet. And so this is what I mean when I say things kind of bled into different areas. It wasn't just the closet, but I was able to just kind of keep things to these two small areas. Now, I am extremely blessed and I have a very big craft space that both my husband and I work out of. And so we're trying to kind of creatively find a way where I have a desk to do my work, I have a craft table, and then he also needs his desk for his remote work that he does also. So we're trying to make the best out of this great big space. Now, I'm just kind of using some buckets that I have on hand. I refused to buy anything new to reorganize this space. Now, here in Colorado, it gets extremely cold, and we find we cannot keep our paint in the garage. It gets too cold. Now, this closet that I'm working out of does not have any kind of heat source to it. I mean, it's insulated, but it is in the basement, and it does still get chilly, but it is far warmer than the below freezing temperatures it gets in the garage. So we are keeping a lot of our paints and home improvement supplies in the basement and in a separate off-camera closet that I have as well. Now, I'm trying to kind of keep labels on everything. I wanted to just kind of keep everything as close together so that it all made sense. We've got a party bucket, we've got the resin, we've got, you know, ropes and strings, and I have a lot of really fun thrift store finds, and so I just needed to find a way to kind of put everything together. I love these little buckets here that I'm filling up with these small little Dollar Tree wood pieces. These are my favorite buckets because they're small enough to where you can have multiple ones. Now, I wanted to show you, this is the disaster of day one. We did get a lot done. However, look at, I mean, for one, it's a massive space. And again, please know I'm so thankful for this space. But it is an absolute disaster. But we did a lot of work for day one. So just kind of taking a look at it, cutting it off and saying, okay, this is where we are. And I needed to step back for the rest of the night and kind of reattack even, because some of the stuff that we had done still wasn't working out to being the most space effective use of this area. So it always takes a couple tries for me to get it right. And it's always good to kind of take a break, step back, and then come back at it. So day 2, here we are, just kind of taking a look at everything, just restocking some items here. So we've got our paint. Now I've got this really cool, it's like a Christmas Lazy Susan, and it's all stained and stuff. I probably could have painted it, but maybe in the future that'll be a project I do. But this is actually something that the previous owners had left behind. I found it like next to the washing machine, and it's the coolest, largest Lazy Susan I've ever seen. So I was definitely going to put that to use. Now, as far as trying to keep things contained, you know, I wanted to have kind of like a method to the madness. So these are kind of my coloring, maybe journaling and or planner accessories. So when I'm ready to use that, I'm going to take that whole bucket out. Now, as far as trying to keep these little things that I always take off of projects and I end up keeping, my sister-in-law got me this really nice little container off Amazon for Christmas last year. I will make sure to link it in my description box because it has come in handy so much so, and it's embarrassing to say that I'm just now putting it to good use. Now I did decide to take my beads and kind of separate out the colors. Visually, I thought it would be nice to have some of the more neutral beads in some like decorative jars and stuff. And that way I can just grab a jar when I need it. But there's always these little random things. So again, these are mostly things that I've either thrifted or gotten from the Dollar Tree as far as my containers and organization goes. And I'm just kind of marking these as we go. So I'm just placing the smaller items into these little containers and then using a larger container. And here we go at the end of day 2. Now, don't get me wrong. This whole space, like all of this that I'm showing you because it is still unorganized. It is a disaster. It is my next point, but the closet. I was extremely happy about the closet. We can get into the closet. We can close the closet door. My husband can get to the safe, which he's always saying, if I don't keep it clear, what's going to happen when the zombie apocalypse hits? He's not going to be able to get in there and get the supplies that we need. So now he feels like he can safely obtain anything he might need to protect the family. And these are those items that I had originally had these inside the closet, but I decided to move outside of the closet. Here are just some quick little screenshots to show you guys just how it looks when I go in. I do end up going in and placing some labels. Now, I didn't label everything because, as I mentioned, I do feel like it sometimes takes me a little while to figure out exactly where things function best. But we come a long way on day 2. So once I knew where I had some of the things that I knew were going to stay, I just used some Dollar Tree chalkboard kind of looking labels, and I just hand wrote them on. You don't need a Cricut. You don't need anything fancy. Once I probably get a little bit more settled, I might go back in with my Cricut and make a little bit more fancy labels. But quite honestly, this does the job. There's really no need for anything expensive or fancy to clean up a space and to make it more functional. So just knowing where some of the items are, we're just going to put some labels and kind of clean it up a little bit more. Now, I did mention that some of the other room is still quite in disarray, but that's something that my husband and I are going to work on. Now, if it's something that you'd want to see, let me know down in the comments below. Are you curious to see how we're going to go ahead and organize the rest of this room to make it a multi-office, multi-use functional space? If so, more than happy to share that with you. You guys, thank you so much for joining me. I have been gone for so long, but it is so fun to be back, especially working with my friends, Sarah, Connie, and Megan. I am so blessed that Sarah reached out and offered a position on her playlist. Please make sure you check them out in the description box below. Till next time, you guys, bye.